Right. Hmm. I know. I know. Well, the only thing I want for you and the only thing any of us want for you is happiness, because that's what we all want for each other. And, when you tell me you're not sure about this relationship and where it is right now, um, with him, it just, I want for you to be happy in it. And if you're not, then it just seems to me like you need to think about some things. Right. And if you're not getting what you want out of the relationship, then, um, in my personal opinion, I feel like you need to acknowledge that, and just kind of not live in it, but just acknowledge it, and then decide what you want to do or how you want to handle things. And, well, I just don't want to see you repeat, what happened with the last relationship you were in, that I and many of us didn't think you'd ever get out of. But yourself, we've had marathon conversations regarding that person and their treatment of you. And you stayed in that relationship for much longer than you should have. And I believe, not necessarily to your detriment, but you just stayed longer than you should have. And the fear of just being alone is something that I personally, I don't understand, but I feel like I have to kind of have empathy for you. Well, because I know it's something that you have expressed to me as an issue, and I don't know that that has changed. I think you have definitely been in moments where you've been alone, and it hasn't been the end of the world per se. Um, so I don't know. Maybe that's changed for you. Hmm. Right. Yeah, that's true too. That's true too. Uh huh. Well, it just seems to me that if um, the compromise is something that you're going to have to ask yourself whether you're willing to accept. Hmm. No, I'm not outside. If you hear the window is up, that's an airplane. Yeah, but it's like, okay, so if that's a problem for him, then I don't understand where sex is not a part of a relationship. I don't understand that. But if two people are willing to make it work, and it doesn't really appear that that's the case, it seems like he's saying one thing and you are saying another. And, I don't know. It just seems to me like you are settling and not really happy. Or that you, in lieu of being alone, are, you know, willing to take the L for this one, for this, for not having any sex or little of it. And I know you want to respect, where he's coming from with that. But at the same time, I feel like if a partner isn't getting all that they desire out of a companionship, it is something to bring up. It's definitely something to address. Yeah. I know. I know. And I love him too. And I think you guys are wonderful together. When it's these moments where it's just kind of it's kind of awkward, maybe even a little icky to have the conversation, because I find myself, talking about the person in a way that I'm not used to, and trying to, understand where you're coming from. And I don't know, it's not easy. It is not easy, because you're both friends, and love you. And I love you both, but I want to see you both happy. I know this phone picks up everything. I'm sorry. Trust me, I'm not outside. Just the window is up. It's too hot to close the window. you know. Right. Well, yeah, and I mean, has he tried that? Does he know that about himself, to where he's tried the sex thing, and how did he respond to it? What you may have to look at too is the possibility of the both of you sitting down and having an honest conversation, putting your feelings out on the line, and maybe the compromise is, either you deal with the way things are, for whatever reasons you have to deal with that, or maybe the compromise is, you are allowed to, have sexual partners outside of the relationship. Well, I presume that it is not what you would desire, but I mean, if it's affecting you that much, that might be something you have to consider. That it might be a conversation you have to have, as particularly if he's not willing to budge. Or just maybe asking yourself how important is sex to you in the relationship. Yeah, I know. Listen, I'm just putting it out there. It's feels kind of. I hate to even have to, say anything like that, but I'm just going to be chewing on some gum, if you don't mind. Yeah. Yeah. He is. And I mean, I think you guys are good for each other in every configurable way, except apparently where this is coming up. And this is something that, all this time, I never really knew about until you had mentioned it before, but it wasn't, it didn't seem like it was as prevalent, but now it seems that I get the impression that it is bothering you a little bit more. Yeah, I get you. hmm Well, and I don't understand his sobriety issues. So that's nothing that he's ever communicated with me about. So, right. hmm That's very true. Um, Again, like I said, I know if it were me, I would have to bring it up only because, I'm not happy. And I'm not saying that you didn't, obviously you haven't mentioned this, said anything to me about feeling this way, but I'm just saying if it were me, if I'm contemplating, having random sex with someone outside of the relationship, a relationship that's been a few years now, that's something that would actually bother me. It would bother me if he didn't know about it. If he knew about it, then I would probably be okay with it. But I still, it would not be my go-to. I mean, because these things are just better with someone that you love, that you're in a relationship with, right? Yeah. hmm Well, I hope you guys can work it out because I don't want to break up the squad. No, exactly. Well, the one thing that you have on your side is, in comparison to the last um, person you were in a relationship with, I think you could definitely talk to him about your feelings and, whether you guys will be able to come to some kind of a compromise with each other, remains to be seen. But at the very least, you can approach him about having a conversation and he's not going to duck and dodge it, you know. But maybe this will force him to confront some things that maybe he's just been sitting on. Maybe he's been not trying. Maybe he's been in his own way trying to avoid this potential conversation with you. Like if he can keep everything bright and cheery, then this in his mind would be enough to keep you or to make you happy. I'm just throwing stuff out there. I could be wrong about my assessment of that, but that's what I think. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Keep me posted, because I mean, I care about you. I care about him, and I care about your relationship and the health of it, frankly. And I want to see you guys work through this. And maybe there is a solution that works out, for the both of you. Okay. Well, thanks for, opening up and sharing this stuff with me. I know it's, yeah. Well, no, that's true. We've shared a lot of conversations with each other for sure. Okay. All right. Well, take care and keep me posted on how things go. Okay. All right. All right. Talk to you later.